Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe class Air Raid. Now this version of Air Raid is a completely new mold than previous Air Raids that we've gotten, and I gotta say I'm actually pretty impressed with how this figure actually looks. It's Deluxe class, and it's a jet, so it's naturally going to be a little bit smaller than it really should be. Now, this thing would absolutely soar and sparkle if it was a Voyager size figure. But as a Deluxe, it's not all that bad. I really like the green paint job that you have on here. He does have two landing gear that you can fold up underneath here, and I'm going to do that just because that's going to be part of the transformation anyhow. And you know, when you look at the bottom, I mean, there's not a heck of a lot that shows as being robot kibble. They actually do a pretty good job concealing all of it. The only problem is the back piece here, his hand actually hangs out, but you can detach that if you really want. I don't know where you can actually store it. Maybe you plug it right there or something, I don't know. There might be actually a place where you can somewhere tuck that little guy. Or, you know what you could actually do? Here's his weapon. This is actually not a bad idea. Take this, plug that right inside there, and put that there, and that doesn't look all that bad. That kind of looks like a little stabilizer bit here for the giant radar dish. This is a spy plane, so this big giant thing here is a radar dish. And if you do that, that's actually not too terribly bad. That kind of works pretty well, if you ask me. Now it kind of looks weird, but I think it looks better than it dangling here on the back, and I'm throwing things all over the place. Now, one of the problems that I do have with this is, unfortunately, mine came broken. Both of these wings, they stick in there pretty well, but they're not supposed to detach like that. You can do it, and you have a third mode, and then you remove this, and this is what I like to call space missile. The space missile mode, or airplane crashing mode, if you really so desire. But in general, it's when you have the wings attached, and like I said, I mean, they friction in there pretty good. So luckily, it's not too terribly bad, and that really, it doesn't turn me off to the figure itself. I mean, I could take points away for it because of my personal copy, but the retail version's obviously not going to have that, so I'm not going to take points off for the vehicle mode. I really do think it looks very nice, though. It's very cool. I'm trying to think if we've ever gotten really kind of like a commuter-looking airplane before, and I don't think that we have. So I definitely would like to see a bigger version of it. Now, his mech tech weapon is you just push this little thing, you actually slide it up, and that's actually fairly neat looking. One side slides forward and the other one doesn't. So you can see how like this separates. This one doesn't, so that's kind of weird. But he holds the weapon like this. Obviously, he's got his hand in here, and then you move it forward, and that's his weapon. I think it would look a little bit better if you could hold it like that, with the barrel angled down like that, I suppose, but can't really do that. And then, if you take this and slide this down like this, he now kind of has a shield, and I'll show that off more in the robot mode, but you can have him holding his shield just like that, so that's kind of cool. For transformation, you're gonna want to angle these up, and as you can see, they kind of stay there on mine, but they're gonna end up falling off. Come around here to the bottom, separate this, kind of angle that out to the side like so. I'm going to try to do this as much as possible with these wings. Now, it's going to be tough not falling off so that you can see a proper transformation. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, I'll tell you that. So do that right there. Come around here, lift these little bits here on the side, just like so, and then you can angle that and get that up like so, like that, like so, like that. What? Okay. Then kind of bend these down. This whole section here is going to loosen and untab, and then you're going to, well, you're going to pull that section off, but we're going to just pop that right back in there. So lift that up, and then you split this right down the middle, rotate these out, again kind of get them out of the way, keep these now angled back like so, rotate these legs down, and there goes the wing, but imagine that wing's still there. So then you rotate that around, we're going to pretend that that wing is still right there. Kind of lift this up like so. Separate these. These are going to rotate outward, just like that. And then I angle these down just a little bit. Now the actual instructions say to leave it like that and then put it back like that, but I think that looks kind of silly, so leave it like that, rotate this back, and then this whole section goes up, and as it does, it's kind of got this little lever thing that makes his head come up, and then you do that. I angle that down like that, and then put that around there, and then position these wings, or in my case, make sure that they're secured in there, lift them up like that, like so, and the wings are actually in there pretty good. Get these arms out of the way, rotate this around, rotate that. This little bit here spins all the way around. Do the same on that side like so. Fold that back, and the leg popped off. Rotate that like that. Now, the official transformation has you having it like this. But that really doesn't give him much elbow articulation, so I actually keep it rotated around, and then you can get a full range of motion here, or 90-degree bend at the elbow. And I just think it looks more alien like that. Then you can take his hand, and you can actually plug it where it's supposed to go. So there's that. Then this one here, again, I'll rotate that around. This kind of angles out, and I really don't particularly like this arm. It's kind of like the entire arm is just like a mace or something like that, some kind of a gladiatorial weapon, which, is that a word? Gladiatorial, maybe that's the word, but I'm not a big fan of that. But here you have Air Raid in his robot mode. Now initially when I got this guy and I started playing with him, I really didn't like his robot mode. Mostly because it's very kind of plain. I mean, his legs really don't have much going for it. I mean, they're very kind of straight and kind of bland looking. But something about this figure, I don't know what it is, really has impressed me. And it kind of gives me an old Transformer feel to him. The look of him is just very simplistic. A lot of new Transformers, especially with a lot of the movie Transformers, there's a lot of crazy angles going on with it, and you get some of it up here, like with the arms, and, you know, and the crazy wing things here in the back, but then you get to the legs, and they're very straight, they're very simple, they're very clean, much like a lot of G1 toys. And that really, for some reason, appeals to me. One other thing is, I really do like the face on this guy. This big giant wing thing here in the center of his head is kind of weird, but definitely says aviator to me. And then his face just is really kind of cool looking. Now, he does have light piping. That little teeny tiny dot right there above the screw, that's his light piping. And using my little flashlight here, I'm going to try and show that to you. I mean, you can see it does work, but because it's so small, beep, 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 beep. Because it's so small, you don't get a lot of light unless you get it directly at the source. But I just love the painted detail throughout here. It's very nice, and then some good detail on the arms itself. Again, the arms are supposed to be like this. This is how his arms are supposed to be, but you only get about a 45-degree angle bend, and that's a much cleaner look. But rotating it around, do that, and then put it like that, and then rotate the fist. Obviously, you get more detail here on the inside, but then you got the screws kind of right there, so it is kind of your personal preference what you like. I just personally think it looks good like that. Now this arm here, it's kind of weird. You can rotate this up, and you can kind of fold these back, and you can have a more compressed look to his arm. But again, he doesn't really have a hand. I mean, it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be all the way down like here, so you have a mace that you're kind of swinging around, which I don't mind. I honestly don't, and I'm one of those kind of people that I like my Transformers having their hands. But something about this, again, just says old school to me, and I'm really impressed with it, and I really do kind of like it. For his accessories, he does come with his radar dish, which I demonstrated earlier, that when you just push this forward, that whole thing comes out. Now, he can hold it as a gun, except it's kind of stupid because as you extend it out, I mean, it's not a Voyager, so it doesn't stay out, but that's why I don't care for this too much as a gun. Now, if you actually take this and bend it down, now he's got a shield, which I think suits him a whole lot better, especially when he's got this as a mace weapon. I really think that's very cool. Now, it is mech tech, so you do have all sorts of other mech tech ports. You can plug it here on the side if you really wanted to. He does have one here on the back, which is a little bit more useful. You can take it kind of and angle it like that. Then you can plug it right there. Kind of angle it so now you kind of have storage for it when he's not actually using it. And despite that giving him a much bigger backpack, he's very stable. Obviously his feet are very large, and some of the joints, at least on mine, are a little bit loose, but that's easily fixable with some clear nail polish or super glue, which I'll more than likely do. In terms of his articulation, his head will rotate left to right. His arms are on ball joints, and they also kind of rotate a little bit here on a swivel joint that, as part of the transformation, rotates at the really top part of the bicep, bends at the elbow, and again, depending on which way you position the arms, he could have a 45-degree angle bend or a 90-degree angle bend. You can pop his arm off or his hand if you so desire. That's entirely up to you, but his fist is on a ball joint. Like I said, this right here doesn't have a hand, but you get the elbow motion, and then you have a joint right here, and then you have a joint right here, so that's pretty nice. I would probably like maybe some more articulation to simulate a more whip type effect, but it's not too bad. Nothing at the waist. The upper hips are on ball joints, forward, back, in, out, rotate, blah, blah, blah. Bends at the knee, and then he has a big old shin pad right here. And then nothing at the feet unless you want to count the heel spur, but that really doesn't count all that much. But in terms of a figure that's not from the movie, or not in the movie, I do really like the way that this guy looks. You can get some good poses with him, very nicely articulated, although, like I said, mine's a little bit loose. But there is just something about this figure that I really do like, despite the fact that my version's wings are broken off. As I said, I'm not going to use that as a negative point on this because that's only on my figure, and I know that. Now, to transform it back, just come around here and remove this, since that's probably not where you keep yours anyhow. Set that off to the side. Kind of take this little section here, rotate this all the way in. Now, again, I'm going to try doing this without popping off any bits. Straighten out the arm. I mean, the wings are probably gonna pop off on mine, but again, just pretend like they didn't. And then straighten it out like so. Come on, rotate around. There you go. So you have it all the way rotated around. There we go. And then again, keep that around. Just kind of, that's not really gonna tab into anything yet, so just kind of have it dangle there. Kind of rotate this out, get these wings kind of rotated down and out of the way. Rotate this down, this will bring the head down, and then you can straighten these more down along the side of the crest of his head. Kind of lift this up, kind of fold that down, fold these little bits out, fold that straight out, fold that straight out, rotate that around as well, bring these in, and rotate these around. There, come on. Rotate it around so that you're able to bend it just like so. Do that like that. Bend it outward. Just like that. Then, yeah, see, that fell off. But again, we're pretending that that's still on. Remember, guys? That's still on. So just kind of straighten this out. Now, you're going to notice that there's little pegs here on the underside here that tab into holes on the white part of his thigh area. So tab that in just like that. Do the same on the other side. Tab that down, except mine moved. You have it nice and secure inside there. And again, you can take this off if you want to, and I think I'm actually going to do it like that. Kind of straighten these wings out. We're going to put that wing right back on there. We're going to pretend that it didn't fall off. And then we're going to just straighten out that wing just like that. Fold these sections down and in. Cover that up. Bring this around. Fold this straight down. And that'll kind of tab together, and then bring everything together like that. You can fold out the landing gear here. Fold that out. If I had a nail, it'd be better. Fold that out there, and then there. Then you can take this, and these just have clips on here. We're gonna put the hand on there so I don't lose the hand, because I do tend to lose things. There we go. Then pop that right on there, just like that. Kind of straighten everything out. And here you have Air Raid back in his jet mode. Now, honestly, like I said, there is just something about this figure that I absolutely adore. Even during the shooting of this video, I initially didn't like that mace arm that he has, but as I was recording the video, I grew to actually like it. There's just really something about this that stands out and really kind of impresses me. The vehicle mode is something unique that we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen before. The transformation is actually really pretty simple, yet satisfying and enjoyable. And then the robot mode, again, just something about it just really appeals to me. I really think that this is one of the nicest figures from the Dark of the Moon line that actually wasn't in the movie. Really, really impressive. So when this figure comes out, I do highly, well, not recommend dropping it. That's the second time I've done that. I do highly recommend picking this guy up. It's a very nice addition, and I think you guys are really going to actually enjoy him. So until next time, guys, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. I'll talk to you later.